YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with pre-week 1 NFL power rankings. Going to update these power rankings every single week of the year. We also have recaps after every single week. We got pick'ems, score predictions for every single game, plenty more. I got college football content as well. So hopefully you can join us for all that. We also have exclusive content available. Before it's too late, you can join our NFL Pick'ems League. You can join our Discord private chat where we're constantly having NFL discussions in there. We got plenty of bonus videos. You can get access to bonus videos such as NFL videos, behind the scenes bloopers videos, all of that on the Patreon. Link towards the top of the description, and the link is at the top of your screen right now, patreon.com/thegoathouse. So check that out. And we also have a 40K subscriber goal by the end of this year. Lately, a lot of people have been subscribing to our channel, so I appreciate you very much if you subscribe. If you don't, it'll be worth it for you, because we got you covered all year long, and this is the best time of the year in football season for the Goat House. So hopefully you can join us. Click that like button. Check out our Twitter. But let's get on to the power rankings. Again, we're going to update this every single week based on the previous play. And this right here is based off how these teams are right this second, right now. I don't care about last year. I don't care if you're predicting them down the line to start to struggle or predicting them to get hurt. How they are right now, that's all that matters to me. Here we go. Let's show the bottom teams first. I got the Dolphins last. Pretty obvious. I keep going back and saying the most important things for a football team and today is your quarterback, your offensive line for how you protect the quarterback, and your pass rush. The Dolphins are lacking in all three of those. Maybe the quarterback spot could play pretty well right now at Fitzpatrick, but then again, he doesn't have the offensive line protecting him, and they don't have the pass rush, which is very important. The Giants are 31. Was kind of back and forth, 30 and 31, but the Giants, I don't think will have much of a passing game because of the quarterback situation and the receivers, and they'll be able to run the ball. But and defensively, I think they have a good D-line. That's about it. So I got them at 31, best team right now. The Cardinals at 30, a team that can have a high-powered offense really early in the year, too. They can come out with a high-powered offense. I just think teams will score all over them. Bad run defense, no Patrick Peterson at the moment. I think offense could really get going, but it's still a mystery. But I got them at 30. 29, I got the Buccaneers. They're missing a lot on defense. I think you can throw all over the Buccaneers. They don't have a pass rush. Offensively, I think they can start hot like last year. I think they can get going in terms of yardage and scoring. It's just tough to put them ahead of the other teams. The Bengals at 28, just like the Buccaneers, they start off hot usually early in the year, scoring a lot. So I think they'll do that. I think they'll get going on offense early. But I think they'll give up some yards and points on defense, and I do worry about their offensive line on the offense side. I think Mixon gets going early. The Jets at 27. Maybe I'm a little lower on the Jets than everyone else. People are putting them in the playoffs. I'm just not seeing it yet. I don't know if Darnold's ready yet. They don't have too much pass rush. I don't know if there's enough weapons besides Le'Veon Bell on offense. I like Robbie Anderson. Hopefully he can stay healthy. And then Gase being in there, people think he's some kind of magician. We see where he left the number 32 team on this list. We see where he left them. So too much expectations. I guess the division besides the Patriots on the easier side, the schedule's on the easier side, so maybe that's what people are looking at, but I'm just not seeing it quite yet. The Raiders at 26. I think this offense could be special. Maybe it takes a little bit for. I can see them starting off really well in week 1 just because it's hard to game plan against. But I can see them, taking some time to really develop the offense. The week 1 doesn't really mean anything. You can't really take anything away from week 1. It's something I can see, kind of predicting. And then they could take some time, to actually figure out their offense. The defense can give up some points, but I'm looking forward to this offense. And so I got them at 26. Redskins at 25. This offense could struggle. It's the opposite. The offense could really struggle. I like their running back group, but you're not going to win running the ball on offense. It's going to be a fun running back group. Hopefully they can stay healthy. But the reason they're higher than the teams I think will have a better offense than them is because their pass rush. I think their pass rush is nasty, but is it enough? Will they score enough points? And they could be better in other spots on defense too, but the pass rush looking pretty nasty. D-line and the outside linebackers. We're moving on to 24 to 17. I got the Bills at 24. They are a playoff candidate, but I just think the teams right now ahead of them they're just better right now to me. The Bills are going to win some games because of their defense. Their defense is good. I think it can be a top 5 defense. I just don't think there's any way it's an elite defense. I do love their linebacker unit. I just don't think I don't know if their pass rush is good enough to be an elite defense. To take that next step, I think they're like very close, but to take that next step, they need more of a pass rush. In their offense, I don't see doing too much of anything, so that's why they're at 24. But as the season goes on, I expect them to climb this, and I expect them to be a possible playoff wildcard team candidate there. So, but starting right now at this point of the season, people got to remember what power rankings are. It's not predicting the end of the season here. I got the Bills here. The Colts at 23. It's a weird team, a hard team to, place right now, because I think right now it could take a little time for Brissett to get going. I'm a believer in Brissett, but it could take some time. I'm thinking, next year he's going to be, end of this year and next year, I think he's going to be much better. He could be good this year, but it's kind of hard to get kind of thrown in there right away. But it's a pretty good team around him. I don't have a whole bunch of expectations right away from the Colts. They could get going down the line here. The Niners at 22, they're fully healthy, but do they have enough? I don't know if there's anything elite on either side of the ball. Buckner's pretty close, and Bosa could be there, but he's got to stay healthy, and he's only a rookie. But Garoppolo's got to show me. He's got to show me right off the bat during this year that he should be proven, that he should be that guy, and then they'll climb the rankings. But they got to prove me something before I can have them climb. And then 21's the Panthers. Right now it's a tough team, because right now, are they 100% healthy? I was about to put them way higher when I was first doing this, because it's right now they're healthy. All the starters are going to play, but are they? Like Cam Newton just got hurt a couple weeks ago. Is he playing 100% healthy? I'm just back and forth on this team, because when Cam Newton is 100% healthy, this is a darn good team, but when he's not, it's worse than 21. We saw that last year. So tough team to rank here. This is where I feel comfortable with them. 20 is the Jags. They got to show me they could score points on offense, and it's not Nick Foles I'm doubting. It's not really any of the weapons I'm doubting. It's kind of the coaching and the play calling. Defensively, that they could pick them up, but I don't know if the defense will be as good as last year. Right now, I'm not super high on it. It's definitely a top 10 defense, but I'm not super high on it. They got some bright spots here and there, but then they do have some holes, the linebacker unit I'm worried about, and then the defense attack, the interior pressure, can they get any of that going? 19's the Lions. The people put the Lions lower just because of the Lions, but it's a pretty complete team. I can't really find any holes on this team. It's just about Stafford executing. He needs to go out and show me for them to be higher and climb. They can show me they can win, and Stafford could win. Last year he struggled a bit. I think he has the weapons right now, and they have the right pieces on defense. They can potentially climb this here if they play well. 18, the Texans. I think the Texans' offense will be very solid, even though the offensive line, even with Tunsil, could cost them at times. They got a pretty good receiver unit, no running back. The team I'm kind of back and forth in the offense. They'll score points. They got Watson. They got Hopkins. They got a good receiver unit if healthy. No running back, offensive line, though, so it's kind of back and forth, but they'll score some points. The defense I'm worried about because it's really J.J. Watt. The secondary is pretty balanced, but they'll give up some yards. I'm just worried about the pressure other than Watt. I think this defense, just like their offense, will score some points. I think this defense will give up some points. I got the Broncos at 17. I think could be an elite defense on this year. I like the way the defense looks right now. It's going to be a tough task to play that Raiders offense. Hard to game plan against the Raiders offense week 1 maybe. I want to see the Broncos offense get going. I don't think it'll be as bad as people think, anywhere really near that. I'm not saying it's going to be good or anything, but kind of in the middle there. But I really like their defense, so that's why they're starting off at 17. On to the next group of teams. I got the Cowboys at 16. They need to show me they can be consistent. We've seen an on and off Cowboys teams over the last few years. The beginning of last year, they were off. The second half, they were on. And people kind of base not just the Cowboys, any team off how they ended last year. The Panthers went on a losing streak, so that means they're going to continue to lose a streak. Not 100% accurate. The Colts ended on a winning streak. That means they're going to continue on a winning streak. The Cowboys ended on a winning constant games in the regular season. So I'm not really focusing too much on last year, but what I am focusing on is the Cowboys. How they are. Kind of their identity has just been an inconsistent team. You don't know what you're going to get coaching-wise too. But it's a very balanced team. I got them at 16 for now. They got to show me they can be consistent. I got the Titans at 15. Another very balanced team. They're missing Luan at the moment. That might hurt them for a little bit. But I think a very balanced team. The defense is better than you think. And then currently Mariota's healthy, and I think he's a pretty good quarterback when healthy. So I got them in the top 15. Browns at 14. Another team that's pretty balanced. There's not a lot of holes. Could they start off a little slow because they're very young? That it's possible, very possible. I think they can start the season off high, though. People not really sure how to game plan against them, and that offense should be pretty good, and the defense pretty solid. I got the Packers at 13 right now, fully healthy. Their defense went in the right direction. A lot of new faces, though. So how will they start off? Will they get going early? I think this defense will get better and better as the season goes on, and that could be scary. But the Packers coming at 13 right now. The Falcons at 12. Like their offense. Defense should be a little better than last year. The only reason I'm not higher is I do have some concerns about the offensive line, but I do have them in the top 12 still. They got a good matchup against number 9 in week 1. And then the Ravens at number 11. Love this defense. Love the way it's coached. I think they have a great secondary there. Their pass rush could be better. Their offense, hard to game plan against, but it's not really going to beat you in a shootout, depending on who they're playing defensively. But, I got them at number 11. I do like this team. I do like this team a lot. Got them at number 11. Lamar, I'm a Lamar believer, but he's got to show me. He's got to show me a little more here. I'm one of those believers, but he's got to continue to show me more. They'll climb. The Bears at number 10, another quarterback that has to show me. Trubisky has to show me that I don't want him staying the same as last year. I want him getting better. If he stays the same, that's not going to be good for the Bears. It's not going to be that pretty. But even if Trubisky just improves a little bit, this team is still a top 10 team. Because the balance and the system on offense and the defense that has the capabilities of being elite back-to-back season, which is rare, and they have the capabilities of doing that. So they're at number 10. Number 9 is the Vikings, and you look back to a year ago, they're supposed to be number 1. They're supposed to be top tier, top 3 at least, and possibly a Super Bowl contender, and they just failed at those expectations last year. But I still see this, and the reason people were saying that last year is because their roster and, the elite talent they have here and there, on defense. You got a list of guys, and then the receiver duo, and then Dalvin Cook's back. So I still see it. It's just going out executing. But since I see it right now before the season has started, I do have them at 10, but in the top 10. But I couldn't put them any higher than 9 because there are some doubts here and there. But I guess that's down the line. So for now, I got them at 9. Next few teams, I got the Rams at 8. I do have, kind of like the Vikings, I do doubt the Vikings offensive line. I do doubt the Rams offensive line a little bit. I think heading in the wrong direction, but then could head in the, really, I shouldn't say that. I should say they're heading in the right direction for the future, but they took a step back from last year is what I should say, because they have a lot of young guys that are going to get better over time. So they're heading in the right direction, but no more Saffold, no more Sullivan, so it could take a little step down early on. Kind of like the Falcons, they head in the right direction. They got some young guys, but you can't expect execution, 100% great execution right away. It doesn't happen overnight. But I still think the Rams, because they have elite talent scattered everywhere too. You got Todd Gurley, you got the receiver. None of their receivers are elite, but I think the group is pretty close to elite. You do have Whitworth on the offensive line. You do have Aaron Donald, obviously, is elite. I don't think either corner's elite, but the duo is pretty top tier. So you could consider it elite. The whole secondary really. So the Rams have that talent. They're well coached. So they're in the top 8. The Steelers at 7. I'm feeling the Steelers for this season. I'm feeling them right now too. They do have a tough task against the Patriots. So I'm not trying to say they're going to win that game. They can win that game, but I think this offense will come out high-powered this year. I also like their front 7 a lot. So I like the Steelers team for this year. I like this team right now the way it sits. So I got them at 7. Seahawks at 6. Very well coached team. They got an elite quarterback, Russell Wilson. They have an elite run game. They added DK Metcalf. Hopefully he's healthy, so the receivers could be better. Lockett's getting better. Offensive line got better last year. The defense is balanced, and they didn't really have any top-tier players until they trade for Clowney, so now they do, and he has tremendous upside, could even play better. I think he will play better this year than he did last year, actually. So there's a lot to like about the Seahawks team right now. Maybe there's not enough, and I forgot about Bobby Wagner. They have an elite player besides Bobby Wagner. So I guess in terms of pass rush, they didn't have any, top-tier guys without Frank Clark is what I was getting at. So they definitely got better there now adding Clowney. But and then at number 5, I got the Eagles. The Eagles are 100% healthy. I do have doubts about their health down the line, but right now they're 100% healthy. Carson Wentz 100% healthy. I expect good play. I expect this team's pretty darn good. It's a top 5 team right now. Number 4 is the Chargers. Pretty complete team. They're missing Derwin James right now, so that's kind of what's holding them back a little bit. But Phillip Rivers And I'm not worried about no Melvin Gordon either. It's just the offensive line scares me a little bit, not as much as the other teams. I just think this is a completely balanced team. I think they could have the best pass rush in football. I like their D-line. I like the addition of Jerry Tillery. Their linebacker unit was what was weak, I think. Their only thing weak on their defense, and it got a lot better, I think, this offseason through free agency and the draft. So I like the Chargers team, very complete. Phillip Rivers, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a career year this year. I'm not saying it will happen. It also wouldn't surprise me if he took a step down this year. So it's just kind of one of those quarterbacks. So I got them at 4. We're on to the top 3. Number 3 is the Saints. I think a balanced team. And then you got one of the best quarterbacks and then one of the best receivers and one of the best running backs. Drew Brees is kind of like Phillip Rivers. Wouldn't surprise me if he had a career year. Wouldn't surprise me if he took a step down. This defense, like I said, balanced, but will it be, it had a lot of play. They made a lot of big plays last year, a lot of turnovers that they were fortunate to get. Will it happen again this year? But I do have them as the best NFC team to start it off. I got the Patriots at 2. They take a hit with no Gronk, and I didn't think they were going to take a big hit because they had a long list of receivers, but now N'Keal Harry's out, so that is a hit. And they take a hit losing Trey Flowers, and that pass rush, I think, takes a little bit of a hit, and that could mean the secondary could take a hit, but it's a very good secondary. But then their run game, I think the run game is going to be the best in football. They have a master plan set here. They have a good system on offense this year, and I think Brady, that'll open up things for Brady and make it a little easier for him. I think he'll have a good year. Chiefs are at 1 because that offense is ridiculous. That's an offensive league now. Offense is the best in football. Hard to stop. Mahomes in his second year. People will just automatically assume. I'm not saying he's going to tie or beat his touchdown record from last year, but people automatically assume no way he gets that. But people forget this is his second year. Second year starting. Third year in the NFL, second year starting. More time learning this offense, more creativity in the playbook. Another weapon in McCole Hardman. They had LaShawn McCoy, who I just think will be the backup, but he'll play. And this offense can be scary. And you look at the defensive side, they switched to a 4-3. They had Frank Clark. A lot of young guys are going to continue to get better. Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, and they had Tyrann Mathieu. So I just don't see, if this was a defensive league still, then they probably wouldn't be 1. But even back then with this offense, that would just throw teams off. So maybe they would be 1 still. It's a unique team, a lot of firepower, and even though the defense on the weaker side, they have a playmaker in Tyrann Mathieu, and they have guys that will get after the quarterback on that defensive line, and they have a good rotation on the defensive line too. So I got the Chiefs starting out at 1. They were my Super Bowl pick, but I still got them at 1 right off the bat. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I know I'm probably a lot different than other people's. Probably haven't really looked at other people's power rankings, but I've been seeing people been higher on the Jets. People have probably been lower on the Lions, maybe. Teams like that. People might be lower on the Broncos. Maybe I'm a little higher on the. I've seen a mix on the Vikings. I've seen top 10 in the Vikings, and I've seen closer to almost lower teens, closer to 20. I just think where their team sits. I'm not saying they're going to execute down the line. That's what I worry about, but. Where they sit now, how that team looks. This is where they should. This is how they should play. But will they? I guess is the other question. And then the Eagles are 100% healthy. The Seahawks. I was just me talking about the Seahawks makes me like them even more. Pretty good balance. But then they do have the elite players in Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner. So we'll see how they do with the addition of Clowney as well to that. I think I'm higher on the Steelers as well. I got a feeling about the Steelers. I do like their schedule, but that doesn't really affect the power rankings. But that's going to do the power rankings. That's going to do it for the power rankings. We'll update this every week. So it's set like this, and teams will move up and down from where they are now based on how they play each and every single week. So if a team gets hot, even if I don't think the team is the best team in football, if a team gets very, very hot, they could make their way to number 1. That's just how the power rankings work. Very fun. So can't wait to do these all year. Plenty more, though. We'll have recaps. We'll have straight-up picks with the Goat House boys. I do score predictions. We're going to have a schedule come out this weekend for the rest of the year. It's going to be a firm schedule. We're going to stay very consistent. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. Please subscribe. Turn notifications on. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.